and study war no more, just like Dr. Seuss. If you look at the propaganda he drew during World War II, it makes for an unflattering part of that author's legacy. But 40 years later, by the time the Butter Battle book was published in 1984, he was opposing military escalation and nuclear mutual destruction. He taught us over the course of his career about how race is a construct, people need to be good stewards of the environment, and you should never trust a feline in a chapeau. One wonders what Dr. Seuss would think about military violence today. I couldn't think of an alliterative title for a book about drones, so if you have any good ideas, send them my way on the city. Dr. Seuss's change in public approach to war over the years brings to mind the Gandhi quote, "First they ignore you, then they laugh at you, then they fight you, then you win." I certainly experienced this progression in my own anti-war activism. First, I stood outside my high school's doors at 7 a.m. in March of 2003 during the invasion of Iraq. I was ignored by cold students rushing to get inside. Then I supported Howard Dean in 2004. Folks are still laughing about that one. Then I visited the office of Senator Jack Reed in Rhode Island. When my Quaker affinity group and I refused to leave the office until Senator Reed signed the Declaration of Peace, we were arrested for trespassing. But less than a year later, Senator Reed co-sponsored a bill to withdraw troops from Iraq within 120 days. Public pressure eventually led to the U.S. withdrawing its troops by the end of 2011. Getting arrested as part of a religious affinity group was an important experience for me. It taught me the power and necessity of well-bonded groups when fighting for peace, and the capacity for spiritual community to provide that. The positive feelings of solidarity and support that I shared with those alongside me helped to bring home the idea that peace is not just fighting against war, but proactively creating loving and supportive communities within and amongst our groups. I'm still friends with one of the women from that civil disobedience group in Rhode Island. We watched the Super Bowl this year together, and if it hadn't been for that game, getting arrested together would have been my happiest moment of our friendship. This positive creation of loving and supportive community is why events like International Peace Day, coming up September 21st, are so important. In the words of Vijaya Lakshmi Pandit, the more we sweat in peace, the less we bleed in war. Unless we make it an unceasing goal to understand and accept each other within and across all boundaries, we will not achieve the sixth principle of a goal of a world community with peace, liberty, and justice for all. Creating a more just world is hard. Getting ignored, laughed at, fought against is hard. Opposing the war in Iraq was in many ways easier than it will be to oppose the use of drone strikes. Getting past the ignoring stage is proving really difficult for Americans. But if we can just get them to laugh at us, we will be making progress. In any event, we have promised each other as Unitarian Universalists to work toward peace. Wherever we go, whatever we do, let us hold on to that goal. I believe that we will win. Peace, salam, shalom, and may it be so.